Good day, everyone. I am Ria Jean Haguyahay, together with Margie Batukan, Donna Joy Silverio, Dainilin Tabucanon, Stephanie Saniel, and Revelyn Mateo. We are the Group 7, and today we are going to talk about teacher professional development and using technology to support teachers. When we say professional development, it is defined as the activities that develop an individual's skills, knowledge, expertise, and other characteristics. Teacher professional development is any type of continuing education effort for teachers. So, as teachers, we need to continuously learn a lot of things for us to be able to adapt and to teach our students the necessary skills they need to survive in our changing, competitive, and technology-driven society. Teacher professional development is one way for teachers to improve their skills and in turn boost students' outcomes. So if the teacher is skilled and knows a lot of things, he or she can be an effective and productive teacher, which in turn produce good and excellent students. As a teacher, you can learn on your own or in an informal way or in a formal way such as joining in seminars, workshops, conferences, and others to improve your skills as a teacher. Technology has impacted almost every aspect of life today, and education is no exception. Technology supports teachers in a way that teachers can use different apps or trusted online resources to enhance the traditional way of teaching and to keep the students more engaged. Moreover, technology also helps teachers to save time because of online apps or software that teachers can use instead of writing it in papers. For example, online grading software, online assessments, virtual lesson plans, presentations, and etc. For us to have a better understanding about teachers' professional development and using technology to support teachers, we will talk about the following. First, comparison between old school and modern school teachers. Second, how to address the lack of knowledge of technology for old school teachers. And lastly, strategies for teacher professional development using technology. So let's begin with how old school or traditional teachers differ from modern teachers. In the old school or in the traditional way, the first one is teachers are the sole source of knowledge. It means that the teacher provides all the pieces of information inside the classroom, and students must adhere or grasp to what the teacher says about the topic. In this, the students are unable to learn new things and their knowledge is restricted to the knowledge given or presented by the teacher, and participation is less observed and practiced. For example, in the classroom, the teacher is the one who is always talking and the students are just sitting listening to their teacher. Teachers often continuously talk without knowing students' response and feedback. Number 2, teachers in the old school are being knowledge dispensers rather than facilitators. So some teachers most often do all the work for their students, just like giving all the resources where one could find the answers to his or her research or assignments. For example, the teacher will give an assignment and will also give the book pages where they can find the answer to their assignments. It is like spoon feeding, right? Where everything is offered to the students. On the other hand, being facilitator helps the students to discover new learning, gain new insights, and discern opportunities. Another characteristic of teachers in the old school or traditional way is chalk and talk. In this, teachers spent most of their time writing on the blackboards and being copied by the students, which will then be followed by their explanation. With this way of teaching, the students would most likely get bored already because of lengthy writing that has consumed most of their time, and they will get tired to have time for deeper understanding of the topic. For example, back in elementary days, I experienced this kind of method, but instead of the teacher writing on the board, our teacher chose a student who has a good handwriting and who is fast in writing, and that student will be the one to write on the board and the students will just copy. I was chosen before not because I have a good handwriting but because I am fast in writing. So during the period, we can cover or the students can write a lot of information. Because I am the one who is writing on the board, our teacher allow me to bring the book at home for me to have time to copy. But writing is really tiring, so I asked my older sister to write for me instead. Then by the next day, our teacher will explain shortly or sometimes she will just have a quiz immediately. So we students really need to write so that we can have a source because sometimes our teacher allow us to open our notes, so it's really an advantage if you have a copy on your notebook. Then the last one is that teachers are more focused on examinations and result rather than understanding of concept. Before, examination is really important and has a big factor in the old grading system. So when there are examinations or quizzes, students are more likely engaged in memorization rather than understanding concept. Teachers' way of evaluating the students' learning is through pen and paper test, by which we all know that there are some things that could not be measured by written examination alone. Now, let us discover the characteristics of modern teachers and let us see how it differs from old school teachers.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, classmates. By the way, my name is Margie Batukan and I am going to report the topic, the modern teachers. When schools are looking to hire a teacher, there are a few basic requirements: a college degree, experience working with children, and of course, patience. Teachers need a variety of professional development skills along with knowledge of their subject matter and experience in order to be an effective teacher. Likewise, as rapid developments and technology integrate into our day-to-day lives, they affect the way students learn and teachers teach. Modern teachers need to be competent in not only basic skills but new skill sets. So here are 5 most professional development skills for modern teachers, namely adaptability, leadership, commitment, confidence, and the ability to empower. First, adaptability. In this modern, digital age, teachers need to be flexible and able to adapt to whatever is thrown their way. Likewise, administrators are changing and updating expectations and learning standards, whether it's to the way students learn, the behavior their classroom exhibit, or their lesson plans. Being able to adapt is a skill that every modern teacher must have. Second, leadership. An effective teacher is a mentor and knows how to guide their students in the right direction. They lead by example and are a good role model. They encourage students and lead them to a place of success. Third is confidence. Every teacher needs to have confidence, not only in themselves, but in their students and their colleagues as well. A confident person inspires others to be confident, and a teacher's confidence can help influence others to be a better person. Fourth one is commitment. While being committed to your job is a traditional teaching skill, it is also a modern one. A modern teacher needs to always be engaged in their profession. The students need to see that their teacher is present and dedicated to being there for them. Last thing is the ability to empower. Teachers inspire. That's just one of the qualities that come along with the title. Modern teachers have the ability to empower students to be critical thinkers, innovative, creative, adaptable, passionate, and flexible. They empower them to solve problems, self-direct, self-reflect, and lead. They give them the tools to succeed, not only in the school, but in real-life situation.
Good evening, classmates, especially to you, sir. By the way, I am Donna Giselle Verio. Together with Ms. Tabucanon, we are going to discuss about how to address the lack knowledge of technology for old school teachers. Technology only became the in thing in the classroom environment recently. Previously, it was used to enhance learning systems and lesson plans, but the actual learning was based on books. Teachers who entered the profession in recent years have had a hard time embracing technology, mostly because many of them lack training in new technologies and are not sure how technology may affect their lesson delivery. So here are 8 ways old school teachers can embrace technology. The first one, learn from students. As we all know that most of the students nowadays are technologically enlightened and are at ease when it comes to using technology. It is really important that the teachers also must be willing to learn from their students, because I know that most of the students will gladly assist their teachers in navigating the complexities of technology. The second one, take a proactive approach to learning new technology. It is really significant, especially now that we are already in a virtual class in which technology is the most important tool to make this online class possible, and we cannot deny the fact that some of the teachers are not technologically enlightened. And that's why they should not be intimidated by technology. They should always take advantage of every opportunity to develop their digital skills. Technology is not as difficult as it seems. It only takes commitment and a desire to learn, because I know that if we have that desire to discover and learn new things, then all this will be possible. The third one, focus on the most valuable and positive aspects. So since we are in the stage of learning new technology, then we must always be mindful and focused only on the most valuable and positive aspects that we are going to learn. So starting with the innovations that add value to teaching is the best way to learn. This may be educational applications or online tutoring programs. So embrace these technologies and expand your knowledge first before moving to more complex ones. The fourth one, blend traditional learning and digital learning. As we all know that traditional learning methods cannot be fully replaced by digital learning. Therefore, you should incorporate tech-free activities into your lessons. Such activities include games, discussions, group activities, and physical activities such as modeling for children and drawing, among others. So both teaching styles are essential for a holistic learning environment. That's all with my report. For the continuation, I will give the screen to Miss Dinidine Tabucanon.
Good evening, classmates. Good evening, sir. I am Dinelyn B. Tabucanon, your fourth reporter, and I'm going to continue on what Miss Salverio started. And we are now on the fifth ways on how to address the lack of knowledge of technology of an old teacher. So what is the fifth way? Fifth way is set the rules in the classroom. Students may go overboard when it comes to using technology. They may access some prohibited material. They shift their attention from the lesson of the day and waste time on their devices rather than important classroom activities. So as a teacher, you put strict rules on those and don'ts in the classroom. Also, work with system administrators in school to restrict access detrimental e-resources. We all know that classroom rules are the foundation for a functional and successful classroom in any setting. Rules vary from procedures as they determine what the classroom looks like, what type of behavior is acceptable and encouraged, and you should help students work towards a common goal. Students also will be more focused on the topic and they are in the right track. Now, on the 6 ways. Provide feedback regularly. One of these strategies that you can use to embrace technology is to evaluate the class performance with the use of technology. And you may ask questions like, is technology improving the students' learning capabilities? What needs to be modified? What works well? These questions will help you provide constructive feedback on the progress of learning to your seniors and colleagues, thus helping you get assistance when things not working out well. The 7th way is use technology for personal goals. You should view being tech savvy as a way of enhancing your well-being. In this regard, embrace things such as connecting with family and friends on social media accounts like Facebook, Messenger, taking online courses, or even starting online tutoring lessons. In doing so, you're bound to get used to the technology and not feel uneasy when utilizing technology in the classroom like computers and laptops. The 8th ways is collaborate with others. To embrace technology, it is advisable that you work with your tech-savvy colleagues to improve your understanding and usage of technology. When we say tech-savvy, these are well-informed and proficient in the use of modern technology, especially computers. You ask questions, you observe, and seek further assistance whenever you face challenges. Your colleagues are best placed to offer support in an environment, especially in the classroom, that is free of pressure. Besides, you must invest in professional relationships to expand your knowledge and stay updated on new technologies. In the 1990s and 20s, there is no technology. But in this time, technology is very useful and helpful as a teacher for us to have that easy and fastest way of doing our activities, especially in the classroom. Even though teachers has lack of knowledge, but they must adopt and should have that eagerness to learn, especially in our times. And we all know that it was not easy to use technology because of some reasons. And I have researched that there is a session called Learning Action Cell or the LAC session. I don't know if it is familiar to you, but it is a group of teachers, school heads, and or supervisors who engage in collaborative learning sessions to solve different challenges. It is a form of professional development that builds competence for new learning, especially on how to use technology especially the basic, because we all know that teachers should improve the way she use the Microsoft Office, especially in their reports, lesson plans, and for the computing of the grades, like Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel. So after the session, there should be a hands-on activity for them to have that improvement in real scenario in a step-by-step process. We can be able to know if they are learning. That would be all. I hope you learned something. Thank you for listening. And now I will give the screen to my co-reporters.
Good evening, everyone. By the way, I am Stephanie Arsaniel, your P facilitator for today. So now, let's proceed to strategies for teacher professional development using technology. So when we say strategies, it is a plan of actions or policy designed to achieve major or overall aim, while professional development can be used to describe any means by which teacher increase understanding of teaching, further his or her teaching career, such as attending teaching-related conferences, taking online courses, and even independent study. So the first strategies that the teacher used is to run a virtual field trip. It means that when we put this in a classroom setting, teacher must run or go beyond to their topic by searching or exploring a lot of information using a Google app. So we all know that Google app is one of the strategies that it could help for the teachers to provide a holistic learnings to his or her class, and in which it could also help for the learners to effectively and efficiently learn the lessons well. So especially in today's situations, we are in the midst of pandemic, we have a lot of assignments and projects, so through using Google app, searching whatever we want, it could be able to make our life easier. The second strategy is use videos for mini lessons. So of course, as future educator, we must use videos for mini lessons in order that our students can make an interest to listen and to participate the whole period of time. It is important that we, teacher, must possess this kind of strategies in order that our students can think critically of what was the videos all about. Just like what our professor did before, he used YouTube app. He possessed video presentations about the different instances immigrations of USA, in which it can make the lessons interest and more challenging. So YouTube is one of the strategies in which it could help in the learning process of the students. And we all know that YouTube is the most popular app in which it could easily to use and in which it could easily search or see more videos. So the third strategy is coordinate live videos. So one example of coordinate live videos that the teacher also use is the Google Hangouts. So Google Hangouts, it is a cross-platform messaging app developed by Google. It is also a unified communication services which allows the members to initiate and participate in text, videos, or video chatting either one-on-one or in a group. So through Google Hangouts, it would be easily for the teachers to make video chatting, video conferencing, webcasting, and mobility. Another example of coordinate live videos is this Skype. So I know you are already familiar with this. So Skype is software that enables the world conversation. So millions of individuals and businesses use this Skype to make free videos and voice one-to-one and group chats and send instant messages and share files to each other people on Skype. So you can use Skype whatever works are best for you, either in a mobile, computer, or tablet. So Skype is free to download and easy to use. So for the continuation of my report, I will give to the floor of Miss Revelyn Mateo.
Good evening, everyone. This is Revelyn Mateo, and in my part, I will continue the fourth, fifth, and sixth strategy. So, the fourth strategy is teacher must use to add multimedia elements to presentations. For example, a PowerPoint presentation. First, as we notice, our PowerPoint slide is a blank canvas, right? And then we edit it through inserting text about the key points of our topic, graphics, photographs, sound, animation, and video. Now, see the difference between a PowerPoint without adding multimedia elements to presentation and a PowerPoint that has multimedia elements. Have you seen the difference? The difference is that a PowerPoint presentation without the 5 elements of multimedia is something tedious, dry, and not pleasing to the eyes of students because everything is clear, or shall we say, a common form. While the other one is something colorful and vivid to the eyes of students. So, as future educators, we must always bear to our mind that when we are about to present something, it should be useful and meaningful to our students, or it should have a remark, because the main point that we use this tool is to educate them. And to do that, our presentation should not be simple or common. And we can solve that in a way of adding multimedia elements to presentation because it assists us future educators to bring variety to our slide and help to draw some realizations that those elements of multimedia is something relevant, for it makes the PowerPoint slide much more interesting than putting a text only. Therefore, using this strategy to present or dwell with lectures is significant, for it helps our classmates or our future students to understand our prepared content better, which filled with informations and achieve the desirable outcome we set. The fifth strategy a teacher must use to study, review, and critique content on web pages. But before that, what is a web page? A web page is often used to provide information to viewers, including pictures or videos to help illustrate important topics. For example, Firefox, Google Chrome, Opera, Microsoft Internet, Explorer or Edge, or Apple Safari. A document which can be displayed in a web browser, including the web service that helps you find other web pages such as Google, Bing, Yahoo, or DuckDuckGo. So, internet or web pages now revolutionize research. Instead of looking for print resources, we look for web for its easy and faster access, and this make us think that internet has the best source of information than books or journals, where in fact we need to be careful with the information found on the web because anyone can set up a web page, and that is proven by Wikipedia. Even you, who's not the owner of the page or publisher of the article, can change what's with the content. That's why we should study, review, and critique on web pages. This means that we must look first for web's accuracy, authority, objectivity, currency, and coverage. In that way, it will help us to think critically about the sources of information we find on the internet and realize whether the internet site or web page is reliable or appropriate to our needs. The last one, which is the sixth strategy, is that a teacher must launch a wiki page or blog for a collaborative assignment. Collaboration is not just for face-to-face, but it can also be happen through wiki pages or blog. For example, Wikispaces.com is a classroom in a virtual platform designed with teachers and students in mind. In Wikispaces Classroom, you can quickly create assignments, and once the students submit their projects, you can publish them so that the entire class can view each other's work. So, Wikispaces is like Google Classroom because the teacher can post such announcements, assignments, and exams, and where students can comment or submit their assignment and exams. However, the difference between the two is that Google Classroom is not a website or blogging platform. It is a form of app where we need to download through the App Store, while Wikispaces is a site designed on the web page. Google Classroom is private, where we need a code before we enter into the class, and we cannot view the work of students once we are not able to join, while Wikispaces is a open system that can be accessed by parents and others. So, teachers can also give assignments by letting students in Wikispaces to have blog or film reviews, like students give their reviews about the film or blog they viewed, as well as comment and discuss the reviews on the meeting. Or letting students to be a editor, for example, turning grammar into challenging and competitive game, and let the students use wiki to edit the text that have grammatical errors. So the teachers can put students into groups for promoting collaboration, and those who have the most edit wins. Therefore, launching a wiki page or blog for a collaborative assignment is important principally now, for it is one of the best tool a teacher can use in a new normal class, because we can't meet and give assignments in school. Through the help of this website, it still targets the higher order thinking skills needed of students in learning, make learners active contributors to the learning process rather than passive participants, and bring them into the world of classroom despite of long distances we have. Overall, these 6 strategies for teacher professional development using technology is very significant, for it play a vital role principally now in a current situation where pandemic exists. Without learning these strategies, a teacher will never be effective enough in a teaching learning process and cannot give the desirable outcome that students deserve. But most importantly, without the implementation of technology and its overall contributions, maybe we are not here and cannot have virtual classes. So thanks to technology for getting the world become smaller and for bringing us great possibilities.